Hey, Radians here. In this video, I want to share with you some of the most useful CSS utils I use in my React projects. I believe you'll find a good number of them not only time-saving but also useful for your projects. You can find all these functions and snippets in the CSS folder under the UI package in the ReactKit repository. One of the most practical snippets is centerContent. It made the parent a flexbox element and centered the children inside it. For instance, this checkbox has a defined width and height and positions the check icon inside using centerContent. We use a sameDimensions function to give the box the same width and height. Both width and height as well as min width and min height are set to the same value by this function. We can pass a string or number to this function. If we pass a number, it will be converted to pixels using the two-size unit function. The vertical padding, horizontal padding, vertical margin, and horizontal margin functions are also quite handy. Often we need to set padding or margin to the same value for top and bottom or left and right. To avoid repeating code, we can use this function. We don't have to look far for an example. Here we use them to define horizontal padding for bottom. It saves us from redundancy when defining different padding for different size variants. We don't want text to exceed its container boundaries. To prevent this, we can use the cropText function, which will add an ellipsis at the end of the text if it doesn't fit. Here's an example where one of the options has a long name and is cropped with an ellipsis. The maxTextLines function solves a similar problem. We can pass 3 to the maxTextLines function and it will ensure that the text is cropped with an ellipsis after 3 lines. The next function is one designed for more advanced use. I use it at increaser in the scoreboard to outline the current user, and on today's timeline to highlight the current time. At ReactKit, it is used for a reusable hoverable component, creating a highlight effect on hover. The takeWholeSpace is a small helper function that sets the element to take up 100 of the parent's width and height. The takeWholeSpace absolutely performs the same task but with absolute position. A practical application of this from increaser is to display an overlay of a focus session launcher when the workday is over. In situations like this horizontal navigation, we sometimes need to hide scroll bars, a task made easy with hide scroll bars. To customize the appearance of scroll bars to fit the theme of our app, we can use the theme scroll bars. They can be placed once in global styles. The final two snippets I want to share are interactive, which adds a cursor pointer and removes user select so that user doesn't accidentally select part of a button's text. The round snippets round the element by setting the border radius to an arbitrary large number. That's all for now. In upcoming videos, we will dive into useful abstract React components. Become an effective 10x programmer with my productivity app at increaser.org.